Hey.
What was that?
I don't know. Hello.
Was that like a ghost thing? Hey.
Have a good show. You gonna like it?
Woo. Okay.
Yep. So someone got a little too stony baloney before the show.
Well, I'm fine.
Oh, you're fine now?
I just said I was stony.
She goes, I'm stony. And I was like, do you need me to do this? She's like, no, I'm good.
That was the last thing I heard as we were going live. I was like, oh.
I am a little stony, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
That'll just make this very mellow since we're going to be talking about Fat Bastard of the Serial Killer.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked a good one for today. He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's a gory monster.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go ahead and
you
start.
know we like making fun of these assholes, and this is the perfect one to do it too.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. I am a little disappointed in the legal system on this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those ones.
Yeah, it is one of those ones.
So yeah, okay. Can it start it now? Can we do that?
Maybe.
Maybe
not.
Hello, welcome to You Kids Sit With Us. I am Hex's Daemon. This is Heck Ya Daemon. That is Mother de la Mort. And today we are taking on Nathaniel Bar-Jonah.
Fuck that guy.
Bar-Jonah.
Fat bastard.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
I happen to be like,
hi, and no, he's not.
is he dead sexy? No, this one's not dead sexy.
No.
Austin Powers movie. Oh, you're talking about Fat Bastard.
Yeah. No, I literally was going through I don't know, it was just dead doom scrolling through like Facebook or something like that, and the name popped up. And I was like, what the hell? And I started like reading on him. I was like, this is if you've ever seen Your Pretty Faces Going to Hell, there's an episode where a cannibal gets let out of hell. And I was like, they based that episode off of him.
Probably.
So, all right.
Oh boy, guys, you're in for a treat because I don't know if I could do this.
Oh, and he looks like Paul Bear too. That's the worst part. He looks like.
Oh, he kind of does. That sucks.
All
right. So we are going to be talking tonight about Nathaniel Benjamin Levi Bar-Jonah.
Bar-Jonah.
That bastard.
Wow, that was a name. He was born David Paul Brown.
Ha.
A little bit more common.
Yeah, he just wanted to be Nathaniel Benjamin Levi Bar-Jonah.
Well, I don't understand why he changed his name to that.
Oh no.
Well, now look. I mean, not to get too far ahead, but honestly, this man was. I mean, of course, you're good. You guys will understand when we get into him. He was just all kinds of messed up. But I had read one piece of article on him that said he wanted to feel like a persecuted Jew, and he even actually would go around and tell everybody that he was Jewish after he changed his name.
That's why he changed his name to Nathaniel Benjamin Levi Bar-Jonah. All of those names are biblical names.
He is all kinds of starved for attention, isn't he?
Except for maybe Bar.
Bar?
No, the Bar-Jonah thing.
Bar-Jonah? Okay.
Yeah, that could still be. Well, isn't
something
Roseanne's last name Bar?
Roseanne's last name is Bar, but I think isn't it B-A-R-R, not
yes,
B-A-R?
It is.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of messed up there because you are supposed to add the extra R. Otherwise, you're just a regular drinking establishment then.
Yeah, probably.
Well, and he wasn't exactly a smooth operator.
No, he does not look like that.
He looks like
he's wearing. In the picture that we have of him right here, he's wearing a sweater.
He looks like
on top of his button-up shirt.
He wears socks and loafers while having sex.
He looks like he wears those suspenders that holds up your socks.
That's what I was getting to, actually. That's exactly what I was about to say those, like the sock garters.
And he makes loud grunts too.
Well, I'm telling you, fat bastard of the serial killers. And then the only thing he needs is one of those little Scottish beanies.
Well, then he
I mean,
doesn't-
look at him and think of him with a Scottish beanie on his head.
I also imagine he doesn't make it all the way through the sex. He just goes, he's like, whew. Okay, honey, you just gotta finish. And they're like,
Like, you go ahead and get on top. I can't do this no more. I'm all out of breaths. I can't breathe no more.
I'm just gonna sit on you.
You'll see right here.
That's how he was
I know.
suspected.
Here you go.
Of.
I got a picture of him so everyone can see here. Who's watching live? There he is, right there. And he's got a smugness to him too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You see how he looks like Paul Bearer,
I feel
the
bad.
Undertaker's manager.
Whoa!
Terror fell
holy
down.
shit.
That was a cool lie. Oh, I don't know. I didn't know I clicked on things again.
We all went for a tumble.
Yay! So he was born David Paul Brown on February 15th, 1957 in Worcester.
Where?
Worcester.
Worcester.
Worcester Street. It's Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah.
Worcester.
It's
Worcestershire.
Worcester.
Worcester.
Worcester the molester.
I'm pretty sure it's Worcester.
Molester Worcester.
Worcester.
Leave it in the comments.
In Massachusetts. Somewhere in fucking Massachusetts, guys.
Is it Worcester?
I see.
Worcester.
Okay, it's Massachusetts. They mispronounced the Celtics. They're the Celtics now. So it's more than likely it's Worcester, not Worcester.
It's Worcester.
It's Worcester.
It's Worcester.
Worcester.
Have you ever seen Worcester Street? There's some great tattoo artists over there.
I just know it's true. It's true.
It's true. It's true. So he died April 13th, 2008 at the age of 51. Woo! Wait, where's the clap?
I don't.
Tomato. I'm scared. What?
Yay. I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
He was a short order cook, by the way.
Bluetooth connected.
Uh-oh.
No, that's me because I was actually doing something here. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I am ready.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Worcester.
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 So it is Worcester.
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 Okay.
Worcester. I was right, guys.
Yay.
Wustr is how you pronounce it.
Worcester.
Worcester.
Yep. I was right, yo. So
Anyway, sorry.
I find it amusing that he was a short dude.
He was a short order cook.
And he was a short order cook. And also a cannibal. So that being is like so perfect.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what he was in Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. He was a barbecue. He was a barbecue. He was a
barbecue.
He was a barbecue. No, he barbecued meats. He had what do they call him again? I can't
grill?
No, it wasn't.
A grill.
Did he get in trouble for eating meat on the Sabbath or something like that?
But the county he was in was 1 hour behind because of a daylight savings time or something like that. So
no, he drove. He drove to a place that it would be another hour before,
and he got out of it.
Yeah, but then there was one little tiny thing.
I don't,
because they were like, "Oh, cannibalism technically isn't illegal."
No, cannibalism isn't a sin. It's not. It literally is not a sin.
It's just a taboo.
Yep.
I sure hope that sodomy is illegal. It's not, Lois.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. It's not. It's not illegal.
And if you're on the ocean in maritime, like international waters, you're just screwed because it's a custom.
Yeah, you can have monkey knife fights like on The Simpsons. Furious George.
There's a cannibal afterwards performing his act gives a whole new meaning to honey, make me a sandwich.
Steam it.
Oh boy.
Where you at right now?
Okay, so the things he was convicted of. His convictions.
Oh, I thought
assault, kidnapping, attempted murder, child molestation. They're talking about suspected murders, but yeah, let's go back into this. Okay. What?
I was like,
I went down the list on the side.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. So, Bar-Jonah was born David Paul Brown in Worcester, Massachusetts. A Fair Lawn Hospital, or at Fair Lawn Hospital, on February 15, 1957, to an aircraft mechanic, Philip Brown, and a housewife, Tyra Brown, the youngest of 3 children. When Tyra was 3 months pregnant with Bar-Jonah, she was involved in a serious vehicular accident when another driver slammed into the back of her car that she was sitting at a red light, which resulted in her having to wear a neck brace for the next 6 months of her pregnancy.
Oh, wow.
As an infant, he was described as being inactive and having an insatiable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, insatiable appetite, which resulted in him crying incessantly when he was not otherwise being fed. This caused him to gain so much weight as a baby that he became practically immobile due to his undeveloped muscle tone.
Oh my God.
And his parents struggled to carry him.
He's like literally baby Huey.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just know this because I know somebody who has a family member that has it. There is, and I can't remember what it's called, but it is a medical or like, I don't want to say disease, but something like a neurological thing that you're born with where you can never feel full.
Yeah. I was actually watching a documentary, I guess, about somebody who had that.
Was it twins or something like that?
And they had to lock everything.
Yeah, that's what these people had to do. They actually had to put a lock on the refrigerator and the cabinet.
Everything.
On this one, it was garbage. Everything, anything that was food related, anything that they think they could even eat, they would have to put it up. They would have random nosebleeds too. It was like just the weirdest things. How like if they didn't get what they wanted right there, they would hype themselves. Yes, they would hype themselves up so much, and they're just blood would just pour out of their noses and everything.
Well, and I think things like that a lot of times comes with other like developmental issues.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Do you want me to read real fast so you can take a break or?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Later in life, he told biographers, "I just love to eat. I can't get enough food. I'm always hungry. That's why I'm fat." He also appears to be strongly adverse. He hates being touched. He just hates it.
That's so weird that he was a fucked up child molester then too.
Yeah.
Wait a second. You hate being touched, but you kept touching everyone else.
Yeah, he hated being touched. He had a strong aversion to it. And at 3 weeks old, experienced hydrocephalus.
Yeah, that's the water in the brain.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
When they have the mouth,
and it can cause all kinds of issues.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let Hexus over here read.
Okay.
I am at Brown and his family moved to Lantana.
I got it right here. So Brown and his family moved to Lantana, Florida, and stayed there for 6 years. My mic all set up weird. There we go. So let's see here. Okay, there we go. 6 years. When his father worked for McDonnell Douglas Aviation. In 1964, the Brown family moved back to Worcester. It's Worcester.
Worcester.
It's Worcester. Worcester, Massachusetts, when Philip became a heavy equipment mechanic at a local construction firm. According to Brown, he was frequently beaten as a child by his strict disciplinarian father with a thick leather belt due to Philip's fear that his son would grow up to be a quote unquote queer. This is his words, not mine, but that's what he said. So, and because of he was a kleptomaniac who frequently stole from his siblings and other children. In late July 1964, before moving back to Massachusetts, a then 7-year-old Brown lured a 5-year-old female neighbor into his basement, telling her that he had received a Ouija board for his birthday. A Ouija board, a Luigi board.
Ouija board.
Porgante.
Ghost.
That for his birthday, that he could predict the future. Once in his basement, Brown attempted to choke the young girl, but her screams attracted the attention of Brown's mother, who came to her rescue. But Bar-Jonah did not. Bar-Jonah got off with little to no punishment. So that's crazy. 5 years old. Yeah, that brain damage.
I mean, I was going to say he's got some obvious developmental issues, but like, and I know things were different back then. Like, people kept this kind of stuff private, but in today's world, hopefully this child would get the help that he needed before it ever got to the point where he actually hurt somebody.
You know, you'd be surprised though. It's so odd how people, like, when stuff like this happens, people will just kind of cover it up and just still let it go. They're like, oh, we just
deny that it actually happened.
Well, people are so they compartmentalize their lives. They don't want to be known as it makes people into a pariah is what happens, or at least they see it that way. And they constantly hide whatever messed up things going on in their lives or whatever with their kids. Yay, she's back. So, in 1973, at the age of 15, Brown cut letters and words out of a magazine and composed a note that he used to attempt to entice 2 young boys from Webster to a cemetery, offering them $20 and a surprise. In that case,
you don't want the surprise, kids.
Yeah, in that case, you don't want not one bit. In that case, the mother of the 2 boys declined to press charges against Brown.
The fuck?
Yeah, he's pretty fucked up from an early age.
Well, okay, so I get that the young boys are young, 2 young boys, but I would hope that my child would have enough. Like, I don't know. I see in my head, like, you get this creepy letter of cut out words that says, "Come to the cemetery and I'll give you a surprise." Like, I am going to be so fucking far away from this cemetery.
Right?
I just don't understand.
I'm the guy that goes to the cemetery and then comes back and like, so how'd it go? I got $20. Some dude tried to touch me, but I punched him in the face. I got his wallet.
That's funny.
All right. So in that case, the mother of the 2 boys declined to press charges against Brown. She thought it would be best to if he received psychiatric help, and felt that he would not receive it through the criminal justice system. In May 1974, in Woodstock, Connecticut, Mary Patrone, would that be Patroni or Patron? Patron.
Kind of like Fatone.
Fatone, the fat one.
The fat one.
Mary Patrone then was 10, was abducted, raped, and was released by Bar-Jonah.
Jesus.
In late March 1975, and a then 18-year-old Brown impersonated a police officer, abducted an 8-year-old Richard O'Connor while he was on his way to school, then proceeded to sexually assault and choke him.
Hold on, sorry. So one of the things that's weirder about him is that he doesn't have a preference on gender.
It's all about
just as long as they're under the age of 10.
I guess, yeah.
Which is gross.
Very gross.
Oh, also, hi Nadine.
Hello, Miggy.
Hi, Raven.
Hey, Raven.
Okay, sorry.
So, where was that? Impersonating a police officer
Right here.
abducted an 8-year-old Richard O'Connor, sorry, while he was on his way to school. Proceeded to sexually assault him, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so a neighbor looking out of her window observed the abduction and notified authorities, who began searching for the boy. A patrol car later observed a vehicle matching that they messed up right there. There was a matching vehicle that was used in the abduction, parked far away from others in a parking lot. And after calling for backup, ordered Brown. Oh, I see what he said here. Ordered Brown out of the car. O'Connor was found in the car, bloodied, having defecated and urinated on himself from a sexual assault. Jesus, this one's brutal. This one probably should have been straight on Patreon only. And he was also near the point of death. So. Wow. A few days before his high school graduation, Brown drove to a nearby Hartford, Connecticut, and again, impersonating a police officer, abducted a 9-year-old girl. However, after the child began vomiting and convulsing from the assault, he drove up to a sidewalk and threw the girl out of the car. A nearby witness saw the incident and got Brown's license plate, leading to his arrest. The assault never got back to Brown's probation officer, and he was released from parole on May 1976. His earlier abduction and sexual assault of O'Connor, released from his earlier. I'm sorry, I messed it up here.
What?
I messed up. I'm sorry.
He was released from parole in May, of 1976 for his earlier abduction and sexual assault of O'Connor. Yeah.
Yes. There you go. All right.
So
when Brown's probation period was over, he received a letter thanking him for his cooperation.
What?
Because
I
they
just
didn't
don't get
communicate.
this. I really don't. I mean, I understand the problems back then with the police departments and the different jurisdictions and things like that not being linked, but this is just dropping the ball all the way around. And I don't get why. I mean, if I was a parent, I would be raising like 10,000 pounds of hell.
Yeah, exactly.
All it took is for them to go, oh, let's go check his probation records. That's all they had to do. And they didn't do it.
And this kind of stuff just emboldens these kind of people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I got away with it then. I could do more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, because
it also makes them get sloppy.
Well,
that's true.
The murder aspect of it, that's where this comes in, is they're like, okay, I got caught a couple times, I got out. Now I'm just going to start murdering them and just being done with them completely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Gacy.
Oh, yeah, just like Gacy.
Yep.
All right, so where are we at?
The part that says on September 24th.
On September 24th, 1977, Brown, claiming to be an undercover FBI agent, convinced two boys coming out of the White City cinemas in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury.
Lickable wallpaper.
I had Snosberry soda the other day. I really did.
Come on over.
What does the Snosberry taste like?
It tastes like Pez. Like, the soda just tastes like Pez.
Excuse me? There's a Snosberry soda?
Yeah.
I don't want to drink it.
It was over at... You drank it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
If it says Snosberry, I'm not going to drink it.
You literally drink it. It was over at Urbane Cafe. You drank it.
You lied to me.
There was Shirley Temple.
I got a Shirley Temple. I did not get a Snosberry.
No, you had it last time.
I don't believe you.
Yes, you did. Snosberry.
That's all lies.
It was Snosberry.
That's all lies. And
they also had Dr. Patch.
Dr. Patch.
What is Dr. Patch?
Their version of Dr. Pepper.
No, it's their version of Mr. Pibb. Come on now. It's like fourth.
It's like kind of like the Transmorphers or something.
It's their version of the Shasta Dr. Thunder.
Exactly. We're talking Transformers, GoBots, and now on to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Hey. I loved the Power Rangers, okay?
Okay, we'll say the Car Voltron. There you go. Not the Kitty Cat Voltron. We'll go to the Car Voltron. That's what that flavor is.
I loved The Yellow Ranger. Thank you.
Yeah. You know where she died at, right?
Yeah, here in Bakersfield.
My youngest like the pink one.
I hated
my
the
oldest.
color
I'm sorry, not my
pink. I've always
youngest. My oldest.
I've always hated the color pink. So I didn't want to choose the Pink Ranger because why do girls always have to wear pink?
I don't know.
So I chose the Yellow White Ranger and I loved her. She was awesome. And then one year I was the Yellow Ranger for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad took the helmet that I got and actually went and adjusted it and made it look more like the actual helmet.
Oh, nice.
He like added the ears and everything to it and just it was just rad. He repainted it, everything.
That's cool.
All right. So Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, where there's a lot of pedophiles and fucked up people.
What the fuck?
I don't know. so Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. This is where he got him to enter his vehicle. He was an FBI agent. He was claiming to be an undercover FBI agent. So he then transported the boys to a secluded area where he handcuffed them and then tortured them. After jumping repeatedly on their chest of one of the boys, the 375-pound. Wow. What a. He's right there with Hitler in the pineapple room.
Well, I mean, I get this whole rehabilitation thing, and this is my opinion, and I'm not apologizing for it at all. There are some people that are not worth being rehabilitated.
No, they're just some people.
And this fat bastard is one of them.
Yep.
Yes. So Brown believed he had killed him. Then he drove off with the other still alive in his trunk. However, the first boy regained consciousness and managed to find help, leading shortly thereafter to Brown's arrest. The other boy was found still alive in the trunk still alive and in his trunk. For this crime, Brown was convicted of attempted murder and received a maximum sentence of 18 to 20 years at the Massachusetts Correctional Institution in Concord, but was later transferred and sent for observation to the Bridgewater State Hospital, which was a state-operated treatment center for the sexually dangerous offenders because of sexual fantasies that he had shared with a prison psychologist. At the conclusion of the observation period, I'm sorry, it has periods.
No, you had it right.
Yeah, it has weird punctuation, and it throws me off. So.
At the conclusion of the observation period, he was sentenced to an indefinite term.
At Bridgewater, yes. Okay. This is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring up a couple comments here. I've always saying you got to remember those before computers, so files getting transferred, even if they were looking into it, it would have taken longer than 3 days by snail mail. Well, yeah, but
the thing is even at the time they did have a phone and they would regularly call. All they had to do was communicate with the other department. A phone call is all it took for them to do this, and they didn't do it. So.
Well, and again, I'm not trying to victim shame at all. I'm just saying from one parent who has children to another parent. And I'm not saying it didn't happen, and it's just not listed here, but would you not be the squeakiest damn wheel? Like, I would be calling every day. Every day.
I would be out there protesting. I would be out there.
Yeah. I mean, like, they would probably have to get some sort of, like, I don't know, warrant against me for bugging the police department. Yeah. Yeah, for real.
The police department.
Oh, yeah. I would literally be the person with I would put a body cam on. I'd become one of those auditors, no joke, that go around, and I would just legally hassle the shit out of the police officers if this happened to my kids.
Yeah.
Like just nonstop daily. This would be my job from here on out.
I think people were just very naive back there then too, because I mean, this was during, we're talking about the early 60s up until, mid to late 70s. And you still had this. I mean, this is when kids, and I remember because I grew up, at least in the 70s era, you just didn't think about this kind of stuff happening. And I think it was always just as dangerous as it is today. We just are more aware of it than we were back then. And I think that the general public and even law enforcement to a pretty big degree was very naive when it came to what human beings were actually capable of.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's the same thing like back during Lizzie Borden. I mean, one of the reasons she got away with it is because they felt that women couldn't commit such acts.
Well, to be fair, I still don't think she did it.
I don't know. I'm on the fence. And just everything that I hear about, I mean, that like I've read about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking that if she did do it, that it was due to constant abuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
If she did
It
do
was
it,
like
it was
her only way to fight back against constant abuse, which to me, you can't really blame somebody for something like that.
Gypsy Rose.
Yeah. And that's an interesting story right there.
Yeah. I've been following everything that's been going on, not like being a total stalker like some people apparently are.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've been just paying attention to it ever since she got out, and she finally was like, guys, I don't really need any more attention from this. I would just like to have a nice.
She's probably better off to change her name and just somewhere.
That I don't think she can though. Now that she's been,
I think that's only in Canada.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she might not be. She may or may not be able to.
Yeah, because she's now an ex-con now. She is actually she's a convicted. Was it murder? No, what was she convicted?
Yeah,
of?
but if she served her term, and she has completed her.
Yeah.
That's true.
Society.
That's true.
I mean, but then again, I'm sorry for our Canadian friends, but Canada's kind of going through their own weird. Anyway, back to Fat Bastard.
Back to it. Okay, incarceration.
Oh, I was going to say, Ivar said the hippie and Vietnam time period.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, on March 22nd, 1984, Brown changed his name to Nathaniel Benjamin Levy Bar-Jonah. He gave several reasons. My laptop's all moved over. He gave several reasons for changing his name. He told friends and relatives that he wanted to know what it was like to be discriminated against and prosecuted as a Jew. Persecuted as a Jew. I'm sorry. Prosecuted.
Prosecuted as a Jew.
During a later 2008 interview with Dr. Michael H. Stone, for the television show The Most Evil, he claimed he was Jewish and wanted his name to reflect that. In fact, his ethnic ancestry was Scandinavian. The most opposite of Jewish of all time. And his parents were both active in the Assemblies of God, a Pentecostal movement, and he did not pursue any further connection to Judaism other than the name change.
He just wanted to go, it's because I'm Jewish, isn't it?
He just wanted to say oy vey.
You're arresting me not because of what I did, but it's because I'm Jewish, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So later in the same year, Bar-Jonah, along with two psychologists that had evaluated him, won a parole hearing after the two psychologists testified that Bar-Jonah was no longer a threat to society. Superior Court Judge Walter Steele ruled that Massachusetts had failed to prove that Bar-Jonah was dangerous and ordered him.
I mean, what does he got to do? Like wear the skin of children?
Right?
I don't understand that.
I would have to say that he would have to boil down the fat of children and then go flying around on a witch's broomstick. That's the only way that they are going to put him in jail for hurting kids. If you do something obscure like that, I'm pretty sure that's when they'll look into you.
I definitely want to read.
Well, once you cross that threshold, it's very easy to cross that threshold again. Because the taboo's already been crossed.
There now. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Yeah, that taboo, it's just the same thing. I guess it's the same thing with what's it say for the Rostov Ripper. Once he passed that, Chikatilo. Mm-hmm. Once he saw the blood spurt, that's when he was past it and was like, oh, he connected it right to his dick. Then he's like, yeah, I can only do it this way from now on.
Yep.
So I was actually on a random note. So real fast, I was listening to Joe Rogan and Zack Snyder was on there, and he was talking about the Spartans and how the Spartans, because Zack Snyder doing 300, he was talking about how much abuse that the Spartans went through for their training because they would take him as a young boy. That they encouraged the Spartans to have relationships with the other Spartans, intimate relationships and whatever. So that way, when they're in battle, they want to take care of their their lovers.
I've read something about that. Yeah.
So when they got back to society and it was time for them to marry and have kids, the women would have to shave their heads and fight the men, like physically punch them in the face to get them hard. That was how they were able to have kids.
No.
The Spartans were hardcore, man. They were fucking hardcore. Talk about relating violence to your wiener right there. That was the only way for them to get hard after everything.
Well, the exploited says it's all about the sex and violence.
Sex and violence. So, all right. Later in the same year, Bar-Jonah, along with two psychologists who
two psychologists.
Okay, that's where it was. They ordered him released on February 12th, 1991. Administrative issues prevented Bar-Jonah's release until July of that year. During this time, Bar-Jonah confided in his psychiatrist that he fantasized about abducting, murdering, and cannibalizing children. A psychiatrist at the Bridgewater was apparently informed by Brown that his interest in torture had long existed and that his primary means of sexual arousal came from the violent thoughts he had entertained. Bar-Jonah's previous requests petitioning for his release from Bridgewater were initially turned down because his psychiatric evaluation noted his violent fantasy life as well as his risk to the community. So finally someone said something. It sounds like.
No.
It was turned down, wasn't it?
He was still released.
Oh my God.
Still released.
He was
still released little under a month later.
So he wasn't they held him back until July because of that then. That's what it was. And then they released him after that.
Yeah.
They released him on August 9th of 1991.
Oh, okay.
They ordered him released on February 12th. He then admitted his need for his fantasizing about abducting, murdering, and cannibalizing children. And then on August 9th, 1991, they released him.
Actually.
So.
Yeah.
Well, let me finish reading that part and then we'll.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, so on August 9th, 1991, and just a month after being released from Bridgewater Hospital, Bar-Jonah observed a 7-year-old boy sitting alone in a car outside of a post office in Oxford, Massachusetts. Bar-Jonah, who weighed 275 pounds at the time, entered the vehicle and sat on the boy's chest. Some witnesses, along with the boy's mother, observed the event and ran to the boy's rescue, causing Bar-Jonah to flee. An officer recognized Bar-Jonah's description from over 15 years earlier. He was later arrested for the attack. At first, Bar-Jonah claimed that he entered the car to get out of the rain, but later admitted that he intended to kill the boy for the attack. Bar-Jonah was given permission by the Worcester County District Attorney to enter a guilty plea for the assault and battery in exchange for 2-year probational period, and promises that he would move to Great Falls, Montana to live with his mother. Are you serious?
In other words, please get out of the state and become somebody else's problem.
I'll stay with my mommy if you let me go.
Okay, so on August 9th, he was released and then attacked someone that day.
No.
Or was it that?
He was released July 9th.
Just a month later. I see it.
Okay.
Okay. I read it wrong.
All right. And then on August 9th, so a month later, just a month after being released.
Yeah.
He sat on a boy with the intention to basically burn him.
Yeah.
He had to have gotten
on his chest and smother him.
He just pushed him down on the seat and sat on him is what he did.
Yeah.
What the hell?
All right, here we go.
Tab, you're it.
On February 6, 1996, 10-year-old Zachary Xerxes Ramsey.
Speaking of 300.
That's why I laughed. That's why I was laughing, because I was like, you've got to be kidding me. We were just talking about 300. So
Xerxes. Please, Leonidas, come walk with me.
Okay, let's try this again. 10-year-old Zachary Xerxes Ramsey left the apartment that he shared with his mother around 7:34 a.m. to attend Whittier School.
Whittier School.
Taking his usual school route through the alleyway near the 400 block of North 4th Street. He never arrived at school. Ramsey was wearing a denim blue jacket with green sleeves, a blue football jersey with his last name imprinted on the back in gold letters, stonewashed jeans, black high-top sneakers. A family of 3 who lived in an apartment in the alley reported seeing Ramsey there that morning, and also reported seeing an off-white 4-door car nearly run him over.
Jesus.
Another witness reported seeing Ramsey standing in the alleyway and that he appeared to be waiting for someone. Yet another witness who lived near the end of the hallway reported seeing Ramsey crying with an upset, obese adult man following him a few feet behind at 7:45 a.m. A witness who personally knew Bar-Jonah reported seeing him standing beside a dumpster at the alleyway at 7:15 a.m. while taking out the trash. He was wearing a navy blue police-like jacket. The same witness also reported seeing Ramsey enter the alleyway later, and that Bar-Jonah was still standing beside the dumpster.
So he had been stalking this boy at least.
He had to.
I would think, to know what his normal routine was.
Yeah, he knew exactly when he was going to be out there, or at least that he'd be out there within a certain time frame.
Yeah.
Wow. So somewhere between where the alleyway cuts into 6th Street and comes out at 7th Street, Ramsey disappeared and he was never found. School officials contacted Zachary's mother when he failed to report to class during the day. His mother filed a missing persons report later that afternoon. Detective Bill Belushi was assigned to investigate Ramsey's disappearance. Belushi was given a list of local registered sex offenders by the FBI, but he ignored it and focused on his suspicion of Bar-Jonah, who was not on the list somehow.
Good God.
Yeah. Belushi requested a search warrant for the property after police made an unsuccessful attempt to access the house where Bar-Jonah and his mother lived together. And he was actually denied the request for the warrant. He also unsuccessfully solicited a new search warrant, and shortly after, he moved out of his mother's house. Bar-Jonah did.
I thought he was on a 2-year probation to live with his mother. Well, I guess they wouldn't know. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you got to do? Again, you got to wear a child's skin, I guess, to actually get some sort of real jail time.
Apparently. So on December 13th, 1999, Bar-Jonah was seen outside an elementary school for the 3rd time in a week. He was wearing a dark blue jacket and a knit cap, and was carrying 2 cans of pepper spray, a toy gun, and a badge. Belushi and the Attorney General charged Bar-Jonah with impersonating an officer and for carrying a concealed weapon. A judge approved a search warrant on December 15th, 1999 for the impersonation objects that were in Bar-Jonah's mother's house and then also at his new address. Police found 2 coats, one dark blue, another one with a toy badge in the pocket, a second toy badge, a stun gun, a baseball cap reading security enforcement. During the search, they also found a pulley on the ceiling of Bar-Jonah's kitchen.
A what?
A pulley.
A pulley.
Like a...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like kind of what you use when you're
because he
gutting and cleaning a deer.
He's literally pulling deer. Yeah, I know.
Yep. Hold on. 2 albums with cutouts of children.
Oh my God.
A document about knots and bondage, and an article entitled Autoerotic Asphyxiation.
Let me guess. They literally just looked at it. I was like, oh, just nothing to see here.
This
just looks like
totally normal.
This is totally normal.
Yeah.
Just kid hanging from the pulleys in the background, just gutted.
So further investigations that were conducted years after Ramsey went missing determined that Bar-Jonah had access to his mother's off-white 4-door 1978 Toyota Corolla. That day that Ramsey disappeared.
1978. Wow. That is a keeper. Not gonna lie, that Toyota Corolla is still going today.
Probably
in 2024.
Well, also his mom and brother were out of town for a funeral, so he was there by himself and he had access to that vehicle. It was moreover determined that Bar-Jonah did not work on February 6, 1996, nor on the days immediately preceding.
I was at school on that day. I was at high school.
I was not in high school because
I was a friend. I remember I was literally at school because Steve Church and me were like planning my birthday out like an RPG game or a D&D game for my birthday for the weekend.
96, I was in 4th grade.
I actually remember that day very vividly. It was actually a good day at school too. I think it was like a Friday or like a Thursday, and we were planning to. My birthday was on a Friday, and we were just going to do it on like a Saturday or something like that.
I 1996. Yeah, I was in 4th grade. So, oh god,
Y'all are making me feel old.
Underwood. Well, I was trying to, because he was like, "Why?"
I was working at an esthetician at a spa.
He asks me every once in a while, why didn't we go out sooner? I'm like, because I'm like 5.5 years younger, and that would not have worked out.
Oh, it would have worked fine. we could have Game of Thrones it.
Because I'm like, you were a freshman, I was in 4th grade.
Oh my god.
4th grade. Wiener.
Yannicka, how are you today? I am here to marry you. It's like coloring.
But I'm in 4th grade.
Just coloring outside the lines.
Don't worry, Yannicka, when your first bleed has come. So gross,
dude. There are some scenes in that show. The child bride stuff.
There's
just.
It's okay. Seriously, the House of the Dragon. I actually
It's really good.
It's really good. But you're just sitting there on that first episode, and you're all ha ha ha. Oh my god. All right. All right, that's a child bride, and they are just showing off. They're acting like this is normal, and they did it for 3 or 4 episodes. You're like, I don't feel comfortable, but the dragons are cool.
This show makes me feel weird in the brain. I don't like it.
I don't like this one bit, but I do like the series.
Right?
All right.
Alrighty. So 2 days later, there we go. 2 days later, Belushi was granted a second search warrant for any documents and photographic material. While searching Bar-Jonah's apartment, detectives found a list of 54 boys names called Lake Webster.
What?
It was what he called the book.
Okay.
Like the list.
Oh.
Lake Webster, which were later identified as boys from Bar-Jonah's youth in Massachusetts, including 3 of whom Bar-Jonah was convicted of abducting in the mid-70s. And Zachary Ramsey, spelled incorrectly, was followed by the word died in this list.
Wow.
Furthermore, dozens of newspaper clippings were found in Bar-Jonah's apartment following the Ramsey case, as well as 3,500 photographs of children and undeveloped film containing sexual images of Bar-Jonah and 3 unidentified boys were recovered.
He is quite literally what Violator was based after in Spawn.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it actually came out around the same time, but he quite literally is a real life Violator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, there's no rehabilitation here.
No.
There's one way to take care of this.
Just a couple phone calls.
It's about that size.
Yeah. About 9mm. What? No.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's inexpensive.
Pew pew.
So authorities also found a pulley on which a rope, cord, or chain could be connected, and the pulley was attached to the ceiling in Bar-Jonah's kitchen.
Is this not the second mention of this?
Yes.
Like, what are they all doing? Sitting around the police department going, "Did you see that really cool pulley system that Bar-Jonah had in his kitchen?"
Great idea.
Man, he must be an awesome butcher too, because there's a lot of blood everywhere.
Right?
Okay, we should ask him if he can pull a brisket off a cow for us.
So a former roommate of Bar-Jonah described finding clothes in his apartment which appeared to match those of Ramsey, or excuse me, those that Ramsey was wearing the day that he disappeared. In addition to bloody gloves, another roommate claimed that Bar-Jonah sometimes spontaneously brought up the boy in conversations.
What the fuck?
Once, a few days before he disappeared, another time when he said that Ramsey would never be found because he had been chopped up.
Wow.
And the parts were scattered in different places.
Now, let me ask you something though. And again, I know it's not as like developed as it is now.
Yeah.
But surely they could have done some sort of DNA testing on some of this stuff.
Well, actually, in the 90s, they were just getting to the point where they could actually do more testing, but they had backlog for several years prior to that.
The backlog would alone.
I wonder if this stuff is still in evidence.
It might be.
It probably is, but because he's already died, been convicted, it is marked up to cold case files now. So,
Probably.
But the backlog is, if you remember when we were talking about Rocktario and Anthill Kids, the backlog alone took them a year and a half in that case to connect stuff to him.
Well, and I think too, they had to take like big samples of stuff.
Oh,
you know, we need to do that as a subject, because like we have gotten so far advanced in the DNA like stuff to where they can actually like recreate, and I forget what it's called. I've got it listed somewhere because I was wanting to read more up on it, where they can actually generate what they think the person looks like based on their DNA profile.
Oh yeah.
Have
you seen the entire article where they're showing like, this is what Alexander the Great actually looked like?
Haven't they gotten to the point to where
this is what Jesus actually looked like? This is, you know,
just from the algorithms and stuff like that, or everything, they can show the actual footsteps, everything, like how they move through the crime scene. I think now, can't they?
Basically,
I don't know. I think it would be an interesting topic.
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
CSI.
I'm saying that they actually can, because of blood splatter, how everything goes. They can kind of picture how he can walk through there. I'm not saying they made a hologram, and
I think forensics and stuff like that is just like totally like very, very interesting.
It is.
If I could get past like the fermented, festering bodies with maggots, it would be something that I would probably really be interested in doing.
Yeah.
For me, it's the smells. I can deal with seeing rot and stuff like that, but seeing the smell is what really gets me.
Well,
every time.
Yeah, I can handle the blood and guts.
Well, the smell makes it real, because we see blood and guts all the time, but the minute they add smells into theaters and stuff like that, when they actually had the blood and gut scenes, we're not going to like to watch it anymore.
I don't know. What was it we were talking about? I know we're going down a rabbit hole, but there was some murder. It was a lady she was actually trained as a like she was in like the police force and stuff like that. Eventually became a detective, but she did forensics for a while, and she had to go to that man's house who had blown his brains out with the shotgun, and it hit the ceiling fan.
We were talking
and the switch to turn off the ceiling fan was behind the couch, and it was just slinging stuff. Like,
and they couldn't find where the switch was. I think we were talking. They
couldn't find where the switch was, and they were having to take Walmart bags and put over their heads.
This is the stuff
wasn't this an episode on Law and Order?
Well, no, it could have been, but
these are the kind of conversations we have in the background.
Yeah,
I would probably be laughing, like I would be laughing and going "Huh," and then laughing and "Huh." Like, I don't think I'd be able to control it. I'd get kicked out of the crime scene because I'm laughing too hard.
Guys, if you want to see what we talk about on the lunch break episodes, this is what we talk about. I think that's what we were talking about it at.
Yeah.
In much more gory detail too.
Well, then that brings me to the newer Rick and Morty episode that I'm not going to ruin, but
I
will say mixed brains.
Mixed brains.
Scrambled brains.
What
It's not
episode
like
is
brains
that?
and eggs.
Turkey.
Oh, that's a different. That's different.
No.
Oh, you're right, because he did get hit in the head with a. Babe, it's already been out for a year.
Nope, it has not been out for a whole year.
Hey, Slippy. All right,
Hey, Slippy.
we're almost. Actually, I think.
All right, where are we at?
Hey, y'all, I come in and you're gagging. Seems about right. Fuck. My favorite is still when I was like, yay, that's awesome. I was like, oh, I picked the wrong button, guys. All right, so.
Do you want me to pick up from here?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got it. I was gonna.
Okay.
I still had like a little bit longer on this
Okay.
one. You can go start a trial.
Okay.
Okay, so investigators also found notebooks with seemingly arbitrary characters, which were believed to be coded writing. With the help of the FBI, and after months of effort, just months, that's it. The writing was
I'm
decoded.
surprised they even put effort into it.
Right. In the notebooks, Bar-Jonah described torturing and eating children. There were also macabre recipes involving children's body parts. On July 5th, 2000, Montana police charged Bar-Jonah with kidnapping and sexual assault. About fucking time.
Wow.
As well as the kidnapping and sexual assault of 3 other boys, the murder of Zachary Ramsey, while Bar-Jonah was held at Cascade County Jail in Great Falls. I don't know. That was like a weird segue.
It is weird.
Bar-Jonah pled innocent to all charges.
Do you see how like the notes are set up on this one? Like,
Yeah.
It's just it throws you off.
Prosecutors announced that they would be seeking the death penalty.
Jesus Christ, finally. And you know, one thing this does not bring up is shortly after Ramsey disappeared, there was a situation where neighbors said that Bar-Jonah invited them over for a barbecue and fed them very odd meat where they were like, what is this? And he was like, oh, it's a deer I killed, but he was not known for hunting.
The serial killers like this, like they would. This is one of those things where he would never have told anybody. You know, he would. That's his thing, and that he always had over everyone else. That he probably fed them people, or they fed them children, and he went to his grave laughing at that. Just like Rocky Alcala, like he never admitted to anything. That was his thing. Like he never ever admitted it officially to the cops. He kept it to himself the whole time. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So trial, imprisonment, and death. So Bar-Jonah was prosecuted for the abduction and molestation of the 3 boys and convicted of kidnapping, aggravated assault, and sexual assault, including charges that he tortured one of the boys and hung him from the ceiling.
Wow.
I guess by that pulley.
Yep. The nifty pulley system.
The nifty pulley.
Like, look at that pulley system up there, man. What is that for? This guy was inventive.
Ramsey's mother was swayed by Bar-Jonah's defense team to testify for them that she believed her son was still alive, which led jurors not to convict Bar-Jonah for his particular murder.
Fuck.
Wow.
I mean, what? I mean, was he really that charismatic? I just don't see it. I really, really don't.
Oh, hey, this guy totally killed my kid, but I'm going to say I think my kid's still alive.
You'd be surprised though how these people work out. I mean, you look at Ed Kemper. If you look at him, he looks like a douchebag, and
he doesn't look like a douchebag. He actually looks pretty smart. That's the scary part.
If you
I guess if you can send like creepy letters with cut out words on it, offering a surprise and $20 at a cemetery, and you do have people show up.
He's got to
I
have some
guess he
charisma.
knows something we don't. I don't know.
He might come across as pitiful when people were actually talking to him, and people were like, "Oh my god, I feel bad for you" and stuff. And this is how he got away with a lot of it.
Well, and it could also be the mother just not wanting to
That's true.
believe that her child is gone.
Well, yeah, but like, why the fuck would you go on trial? Like, go on record at the trial saying that?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, this whole story, when you guys were saying this is who we were going to cover, I read it, and this is just a hair puller. The whole damn thing
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. All right, so where was I? Let's see. So anyway, so she testified for Bar-Jonah's defense, basically stating she believed her son was still alive, which led the jurors again not to convict Bar-Jonah for his murder, although they were not at all convinced he was not an extreme child predator and dangerous sexual deviant. I mean, that's kind of obvious. During Bar-Jonah's,
it's not obvious to them.
Apparently, it's not obvious. I'm just not going to say anything.
It's so baffling.
We're all going to be done with this tonight. We're going to walk outside. We're going to go out to the street. Now, I'm sorry, Odd Mother, you're going to go out to the woods. I'm going to
throw rocks at the road. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
We're just going to scream out loud. How?
I know, right?
By the way, guys, isn't this like the year 2000 when he finally got arrested?
Yes.
Like the year 2000 is when they finally said, okay, we are at least going to take this somewhat seriously.
Anyway, so during
4 years into this,
something like that.
This has been going on since like the mid 60s.
Oh, you're right. Since he was 5.
30 something.
Yes.
30 something years. Fat bastard's been getting away with this.
Yeah.
So let's see, where was I? So during Bar-Jonah's trial, 36-year-old Mary Patrone recognized him as the man who had abducted and assaulted her by dressing as a police officer in 1974. However, the statute of limitations had expired, and Bar-Jonah could not be charged with that crime. Bar-Jonah was sentenced to 130 years in prison. He maintained his innocence until his death. The motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Montana authorities were unaware of Bar-Jonah's criminal record in Massachusetts, a fact that was cited by activists campaigning to force former sex offenders to register.
Yes.
What? They were unaware. And this was unaware. 2000 what? 2004.
In 2000, 2004.
So this is like 4 years before he died. They were still unaware of his previous record. Same.
Now, in December of 2004, the Montana Supreme Court turned down Bar-Jonah's appeals and upheld the conviction of 130 years in prison. Bar-Jonah was found unresponsive in his prison cell on the morning of April 13th of 2008. He had been in poor health, and basically his post-mortem found significant levels of LDL in his arteries, and myocardial infraction was determined as the cause of death.
Good. I hope it hurt.
The SOB didn't even have to suffer. He didn't even have to suffer.
He was
I hope it fucking hurt.
Yeah, he just had a heart attack, and that was that.
I hope it hurt.
He just had I hope it hurt. I hope it was a long, drawn out one. Now, despite the objections of Ramsey's mother, a judge declared Zachary Ramsey legally dead in 2011.
Okay,
so
dude.
Yeah, I think she's just not wanting to admit the fact.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad.
The kid would have been what, like 18? No, 20 something at that point.
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm sorry. It's really shitty that it happened. It really is. But man, you really got to admit the truth. Just if only to get justice for your kid.
I know it. It's awful. And we've got a list here of other ones. I'm not going to read them all out. I'm just going to give kind of an overview.
Okay.
So although Bar-Jonah was never convicted of Zach Ramsey's abduction and murder, he is still widely believed to have been responsible and is also suspected to have committed additional homicides in Montana because of the findings made in his residence. Probably a lot to do with those creepy books he made. Evidence shows Bar-Jonah frequently traveled to Arkansas, Colorado, Florida, Massachusetts, Wyoming, Michigan, and Washington. He was also investigated for possible crimes in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Canada, where he lived at a time during the 1990s.
Oh,
But
wow.
He was
police
in
found
Canada
no
too?
links. Yeah,
How
but
did
they
he?
found no links between him and any unsolved cases in I'm assuming Canada.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alberta and Saskatchewan is where my family's.
This is a
there.
pre 9/11, so they didn't even check border crossings at the time. He was just able to go
Oh, yeah.
across.
Well, get this. So you know how they were talking, how you were talking about, or how we were talking about, the people that were protesting to make a list,
Mm-hmm.
like to put sexual offenders on a list. Well, Megan's Law was actually passed in 1996, but
you,
huh?
I was just gonna say, but the more I think about it, I don't remember like any type of predator list, like FBI predator list, like they keep now, that you can go and look at to see who's living near you in your neighborhood and in the area. I don't remember that really being available until like the mid 2000s, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we when we moved to our neighborhood here, that's when it that's when we found out we were able to actually access it. That was like 2009.
Yeah.
So it took
Yeah.
a minute for that stuff to come up, but once they finally got it up, it's actually pretty good.
And I read somewhere where they're wanting to do away with that because it
I heard about that.
unfairly like targets people.
That was not unfair.
No, it is not unfair.
You know
It is
what I
not
want
unfair.
what I want to see them actually fix is people like say if you happen to be pissing behind a dumpster at a bar and someone catches you, a cop or whatever.
Oh yeah. Now that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, that where you're not putting on a sexual or what's it called again? The list. What's it called?
The sex offenders list.
The sex. Yeah, where
Registry?
you're not being put on a sex. You have to register if you get caught doing something like that. He was
in some states you do. It's not just considered like a
California is one of them. Like
yeah.
What is it? Like just a minor offense of like
drunk in public.
Pissing in public or something.
Yeah, that's what it should be. You have a lot of that happening with those lists. I can see them if you fix that part of it, then it's good.
Yeah. Well, so on a side note here, I mean, we could always do a thing on Megan. What was her name? Megan Conca.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Megan's Law.
Oh, her last name wasn't Law?
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. She was 7 years old in New Jersey. She was raped and murdered by her neighbor. But so something interesting. This happened in 94, right? There was actually the Jacob Wetterling Crimes Against Children and Sexually Violent Offender Registration Act of 1994. So that is actually when the registration started.
Yeah.
Was 94. And then between 96 and 93, there were actually a series of bills that were passed to enhance it and make it more easily obtainable by people.
Right.
To go check it out. So there was a list when he was doing these things.
I bet it wasn't national.
It should have been, but it was harder to get into.
Hey, real side note, I'm looking at our numbers right now. We have 4 people watching us on X right now.
Hey,
that's right.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fucking insane to me that there was already a list.
I know.
Already a list going.
They're head scratchers.
They just
they're head scratchers. Like it's just honestly, it's like people don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I hate to say that, but in certain, I mean, we look at all these serial killers and people that do awful things to people, and a lot of times it's just somebody not wanting to do their fucking job.
Oh,
yeah.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh.
So all right. Well, I'm just going to quickly go down this list. So the ones that he's suspected of. Janice Catherine Pocket, 7, vanished on July 26th of 1973 after leaving her Connecticut home on her bicycle to look for a butterfly that she had left under a rock in a wooded area on Rhodes Road.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's see. When detectives sprayed Bar-Jonah's garage with phosphorus chemicals while investigating his involvement in Ramsey's disappearance, the word Titia appeared, which led authorities to believe that Bar-Jonah may have been responsible for the abduction of 15-year-old James Teta, a Massachusetts youth, at 11 a.m. on August 23rd of 1973. Teta, I guess how you say it, left his
Titia.
home on
Titia.
Titia left his home on Suffolk Avenue in Massachusetts to hitchhike and visit Boston. He was last seen 2 hours later near Boston Government Center. Titia's body was discovered on August 25th of 1973, just over the border with New Hampshire in the woods near a desolated stretch of roadway. 4-year-old Andrew John Amato resided in a mobile home on Richards Avenue in Massachusetts. The morning of September 30th of 1978, he spent playing with his sister, age 7, and their cousin, age 6, in the woods behind the neighboring Ash Street trailer park. Without his sister, Andrew and his cousin ventured further into the woods. Andrew eventually fell and hurt himself, dropped and misplaced his favorite toy, and then started sobbing and running in circles. He refused to leave without the toy, and by 10:30 a.m., his cousin advised him to remain where he was and went back to the house to get him. Basically, he wasn't there when they came back.
Oh, wow.
14-year-old Amanda Dawn Gallion. On the morning of October 13th, 1997, she left her home on her bicycle en route to school at approximately 7:15 a.m., disappearing along the way. Gallion was often mistaken for a boy in her Wyoming neighborhood. Bar-Jonah had arrived in that area on the night of October 12th of 1997, where he stayed in a small motel on the outskirts of town. And basically the only thing that they found of her was her bicycle.
Wow.
Wow.
It's still crazy, regardless of the lack of technological advancements. There were still fucking phones.
Yeah. Communication. It's really, it comes down to communication. They would not communicate with each other. They just would not.
It's insane.
Well, some of it, from what I've understand, just listening to like other podcasts that are like law enforcement related, and I don't know if it's still a problem as much now as it used to be, to where there was this sort of,
rivalry.
You're not in our group, so we're not going to tell you what we know. Well, you're not in our group, so we're not going to tell you what we know. And it just is very. Yeah.
It's not just from department to department either. It's like whichever part of investigations they are too. Like, oh well, you're
FBI
over
between local law enforcement, different stuff like that. Yeah, I know.
I mean, they're like, oh well, you're over in arson, so you don't need this information or whatever. Doesn't make sense.
I do want to say this though. Now, talking about cannibalism and stuff like that. Now, during a search at one of Bar-Jonah's previous residence in Great Falls, authorities dug up proportions of the garage and sifted through nearly 2 tons of dirt, in which they found 21 fragments of human bone. Jesus, although it was eventually determined that the bones were those of an unidentified African-American child, a boy believed to be between the ages of 8 and 13, DNA analysis showed that the bones were not those of Ramsey's, and the DNA sample also did not match human hair found in Bar-Jonah's kitchen.
Oh, wow. Completely different victim then.
Yeah. Well, they do suspect that he had killed a minimum of 5 people that he was just never convicted for.
I think there's more. I think there's a lot more with this one.
Well, so I said minimum of 5.
The fact that he went to Canada.
Yeah.
And Canada is famous.
Time frame.
Yeah.
And after Ramsey's disappearance, Bar-Jonah also began to hold cookouts in which he was reported to serve burgers, spaghetti, chili, meat pies, and casseroles, and the like to guests. At many of these cookouts, a number of persons told Bar-Jonah that the meat had a peculiar taste to it.
I never want to
Bar-Jonah responded that he had gone deer hunting and used deer meat in the dishes.
Oh no, it gets worse, by the way.
Yeah.
He would so he held a part-time job in a kitchen at Malmstrom Air Force Base. And he also worked at Hardee's.
Oh no. He worked at
in Great Falls.
Yeah, so it actually they suspected that he was using these positions, these jobs, to get rid of some of the evidence by feeding unsuspecting servicemen and women on a military base.
Hardee's is a
child meat.
Hardee's is a that's Carl's Jr.'s, right?
Yeah, but they're talking more about the base.
Oh, the base. Okay, I was gonna say you can't exactly do that at Hardee's because that's why is there a finger in my hamburger?
Now if you'll read in some of this, like they did confiscate a meat grinder.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, yeah, in his apartment they found a number of recipes using children body parts with titles such as Little Boy Pot Pie, French Fried Kid, Lunch is served on the patio with roasted child, barbecue.
These sound like Albert Fish recipes.
Barbecue
No
be some young guy. It
Are you
says
serious?
That. Yep. In the Dakota Journals, Bar-Jonah also referenced serving these recipes to his neighbors.
Oh, fuck that. I am never, ever eating at a cookout ever again.
Like a pig farmer.
That's where I was when I was like, oh my gosh, he was in Canada. That's what I was trying to like.
So that's it.
That's it.
Is it smoother over there?
That was our palate cleanser, guys. Did you enjoy that?
Right. Actually, going to hell now sounds pretty fun.
No, I'm still going to throw rocks at the road going, what the hell?
I'm gonna go smoke right now and scream.
We're gonna just go scream into the sky, guys.
How do you guys not just pick up a fucking phone?
And then the fat bastard dies of a heart attack in prison. It hadn't served what, 5 years, maybe?
I think it was about 4.5. Yeah, he got out of it. He literally got out of it. He just.
I hope he's taking big pineapples right now.
I dare say he is.
Extra large pineapples.
Extra large pineapples.
Yep. Well, that was it. That was Nathaniel Bar-Jonah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys over on X for checking us out tonight.
Our Thunderdome family.
We have 9 people on X right now watching us. This is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you
guys.
Thank you, Elon, for putting us.
Thank you, Elon Musk,
for putting us up in the algorithm.
Look, I even commented over there.
Yeah. But that's it. We're out of here.
Yeah, that was absolutely excessive.
No lunch break tonight. We are we're all tired.
We're tired.
I think we're all recovering from the flu and shit.
Migraine day.
Don't even get me started with that. And I tell you what, now pollen is going neener.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we have these trees around here.
The tree comes?
They're the cum trees.
The cum trees?
Yeah.
We haven't gotten those yet. They're coming.
And
they're coming.
They're coming.
I was like running around this one neighborhood walking dogs. And I was like, why are these trees jizzing in my face?
We had a quick random note before we get out of here. We had a fun day on Saturday. We went on one of those CSI.
Yeah, that was fun.
What was it? A CSI?
It was like a quadruple murder.
The geo-tracking where you go around and do to different spots and you solve the case.
Basically,
what?
like
we did that on Saturday. It was all
like geocaching, but with like CSI stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't have that here. I'm jealous.
It was fun. It was actually fun. We went and hung out with my one of my friends from elementary school. I brought him up earlier, Steve Church, and him and his wife, and we did that for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Did you solve the crime?
Yes. Yes, we did.
We did it pretty fast.
We were actually
the only reason it was less than 3 hours. Really, like we got it in like about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But we took a break at one point because we all needed to go pee.
Yeah, we had to go
and move cars and shit.
Because we got to the point to where it was we're gonna get tickets for parking there too long.
We were just at the 2-hour mark and we needed to move.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was actually.
Except I have to say, nobody does. It's not like they do this for the freaking fingerprints. There was a game and it had like 6 fingerprints on it. And they were like, okay, match the fingerprints. But they didn't just go, here's a bunch of fingerprints, find the ones that match. No. They had 2 conveyor belts of fingerprints going. And I was just like looking at it going, what the fuck?
It was funny. Another point where it was Steve, he was the party leader. So there was a part where we just kept doing solo stuff for him that we had to help him out
He's
with.
like, God damn it!
Well, one part where it kind of put us in a bad part of town. It was actually near Skid Row, where Bakersfield.
It made him run.
It made him run.
It made you solve a crime in Skid Row.
Yeah, well, it made him run. He had to chase someone, so he had to run to a certain point by a certain time.
But they give him 5 minutes to go around the corner.
Yeah, and they were like, "Why would they do this?" And then all of a sudden,
he never comes back.
Oh no, it was hilarious. I figured it out. I was like, "Oh, it took you 5 minutes." They wanted us to go the way it was set up. It was supposed to be like shops, So
right.
So we're going around. We also go in shop and do everything else. And I was like, "That's why they gave you 5 or 10 minutes to run 100 feet because they expected us to go and look around at this shop right here, but it wasn't. They really set it up.
It was in a bad part of town.
It was
right
real
there.
bad.
Like there was piss all over the walls and the floor, like right where we were walking.
It was right near the heroin hotel and all this.
Yes, we were getting stared at by the meth heads, like in the hotel.
Look, dude, I'm trying to solve a crime. Leave me alone.
They were like,
where
turn around.
Where it happened was where it took place at was over by the convention center where we saw the WWE event, and that's a really nice area, but it's also that it borders the really bad area.
Right.
So.
Well, I told him to turn around at one point, and all he sees is somebody go and like close. They weren't curtains; they were comforters that were on the.
Oh my god, we were tired and we were
watching us all like.
Oh my god. The vampires were watching you.
We were near the end and we go to sit down on like this curb and she was talking about like how everything was pissed on, and all of a sudden we started to sit down and I was sitting down. I literally sat down.
I was
where
like,
it was
there's
clean
pee right there.
Well, I was on the edge and it was clean right there, and I was like, there's too much piss here. I gotta get up.
Yeah.
It was
but no, it was otherwise it was pretty fun.
Yeah. But yeah.
I would really like to see one that's a little bit more adult oriented.
Yeah,
not
we
like
were talking about
sexy,
that.
but I mean,
like if they did one more at night,
more gory. But let's not go into Skid Row this time.
Yeah,
or like one of those murder dinner theaters.
Oh,
actually, I've been wanting to take him on. There's one in Long Beach that it's like a murder mystery dinner on a boat, and so like you leave port, you start your dinner and everything, and all of a sudden.
If somebody gets thrown overboard.
Wasn't there one when the Queen Mary was open?
Yeah, it's next to the Queen Mary.
No, but there wasn't one they actually do for Halloween on the Queen Mary?
No. No, the one that I was pointing at was next to the Queen Mary. And that's what I'm talking about. They do it year round. And the Queen Mary Haunted Harbor was awesome. It's Shacktober now. Haven't been, so I can't say if it's good or bad, but it's kind of weird to do Shacktober. I miss being able to go. One of the things that they used to do was they would go in to the ship for some of the mazes, but now it's capsizing even more. And so they would walk you into the areas that were like actually haunted, like the boiler room and the pool and all that stuff, like during haunt season.
Right.
And I mean, but now like everything's capsizing and they're just trying to rapidly fix it.
Yeah.
But one of the things I've always wanted to do, and I hope that we can, if they actually get it back up and running, is their December, like stay at the hotel there, and they have an ice skating rink, and yeah, it looks really cool. It's really pretty.
That sounds cool.
All right, guys.
So what do we got going on the rest of this week?
Oh, I got Till on Chit Chat this week. So that's gonna be fun. I gotta get the ad out shortly here.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing for Roots Bleed Red yet. I haven't figured it out, but we are doing it Friday.
I have a few ideas.
We'll go through the list later, but yeah, Roots Bleed Red will be on at 7 or 10.
Yeah, I mean, because I've been wanting to do like the Buford Dolphin incident or something like that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on this week. You're off this week, so
yes, I'm off.
And
this
then
week.
our time on this week. So
yeah.
And
guys, don't forget about our Patreon. Go over there. $5. You get all kinds of stuff. The extended episodes. You get exclusive content. I think me and Piper are gonna go check out some cemeteries in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be fun. I found this really fun app, and it's just, look, I am not a ghost harasser. I am not a paranormal investigator. We're just doing this for shits and giggles. So we're gonna go and check out some cemeteries with this funny app that we found. Maybe we'll pick up some ghosts.
You have to harass ghosts and then go, ah! As soon as
everything leaf falls. Ah!
You got to drop a rake or a broom and be like, see, it proves they're here. See that, guys? It's a demon. We were here 10 minutes and we got our proof. We're gonna go to the. We're gonna go to the.
But that'll be exclusively over on Patreon when we go do that. So
nice.
So yeah, guys, go on over there, and it helps us on the back end, and all of it goes right into what we're doing, so we can bring you better content. So.
Yeah, Patreon's pretty good about that. So.
Yay!
All right, guys.
Yay.
We will see you next time.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know, set the world higher. I don't know, a baby.